Details are continuing to emerge of the atrocities committed following the fall of El-Fasher. The paramilitary rapid support forces seized El-Fasher 2 weeks ago. While tens of thousands of residents have fled, many more are believed to be still trapped inside the North Darfur state capital. Media outlet the Sudan Tribune cites eyewitnesses that say that the RSF are holding more than 50,000 civilians at 5 main locations inside the city. It also says RSF fighters have been deployed in villages and areas around El-Fasher. The fighters are reportedly detaining people and demanding ransom from their families. They are also accused of committing killings and sexual violence against the civilians. The RSF last week announced it had accepted a truce proposal put forward by mediators, but the UN subsequently warned of clear preparations on the ground for intensified hostilities. Meanwhile, people displaced from El-Fasher are continuing to arrive in nearby localities. The International Organization for Migration says they are fleeing to Tawila, Malit, and Saraf Omra. Let's hear from some that made it to Al-Daba, more than 1,200 kilometers away in northern Sudan.
It took us 8 days on foot until we found transportation. There were 18 of us trying to flee from El-Fasher, and we lost 6 along the way and couldn't find them. After that, we arrived in Tora. From there, we boarded a vehicle and arrived here after 9 days on the road.
We lost many people. I lost my cousin. My sister's husband was also missing, but thank God we found him now. My cousins and my uncle are also missing, along with many other people, and my neighbors are also missing due to shelling.
We encountered terrible tragedies on the road, bodies scattered with no one to bury them. This was one of the countless sorrows.
Let's bring in our correspondent Naba Moudine joining us live from Port Sudan. Naba, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. Naba, reports of paramilitary forces detaining people trying to flee El-Fasher in northern Darfur and even demanding ransom for their release. What more can you tell us about that?
Thank you, Richard. Actually, yes, the situation is really fragile and beyond catastrophic inside El-Fasher, and those reports about people who are taken hostages by the RSF are correct. I know a lot of people that I know personally, they were hostages by the RSF, taken hostages, and the RSF requested ransom that starts from $300, equivalent to $300, up to $3,000. So yes, that's correct, and a lot of people that we know on the ground are taken hostages by the RSF, and they asking their relatives and loved ones to send them the money in order to release them. The situation in El-Fasher is beyond catastrophic, and a lot of human rights violations are still going on, while of course accessing El-Fasher is impossible, and the lack of information and absent of communication is still on the ground. But the situation is still very dire for at least 200,000 people who are still trapped in the city of El-Fasher.
Well, Naba, the RSF also reported to be escalating attacks on the state of North Kordofan. What's the latest on that from there?
Actually, yes, Richard, Kordofan right now is a new battlefield. It was not new, but actually after the RSF controlled Darfur region, they are trying hardly to control Kordofan region. This week they attacked Kordofan. They attacked North Kordofan state, the capital state of North Kordofan, which is Al Ubaid, and they have been attacking South Kordofan also, the RSF and their allies. So the situation in Kordofan is escalating, and actually there is some reports confirming that RSF deployed troops on the borders between Kordofan and Darfur in order to prepare for a very big military operation. So the escalation in Kordofan is increasing every day, and people are fleeing from Kordofan. By the way, Richard, the massacres in Kordofan were so big in the same time when El-Fasher was fallen into the hands of the RSF. People of Bara, people of Kordofan, many villages, they were killed, looted, and ethnically cleansed by the RSF. So Kordofan right now is really, the situation is very dire and the security situation is really fragile. So yes, there is escalation, and we are expecting that Kordofan will be a new escalating battlefield.
Right. In light of the massacres and looting and ethnic cleansing that you mentioned, we know the RSF last week agreed to a U.S. proposed humanitarian ceasefire. From what you are hearing from both sides, what would it take for such a ceasefire to even begin? And what are the demands from each side, if you can enlighten us?
Since the RSF announced that they are open to the ceasefire, they did not say anything else. They are not clear about what they will take in order to, of course, start the ceasefire, because there is a lot of conditions by the Sudanese people, not only the Sudanese government, but by the people who are really right now facing the ugliest sides of the war. People are not wanting a peace with RSF while they are still have the arms, while they can still have military support, while they are still controlling their force, because they think a ceasefire in this situation means it's a recognition of their authority in Darfur and some parts of Kordofan that they are controlling. So the RSF has not said anything, just said they are open to ceasefire while they are still besieging entire cities in South Kordofan, while the Sudanese army are still insisting by saying that they want RSF to be disarmed, they want to collect their weapons and put them in camps, just like the situation before April 15th. So right now it's not clear that the Sudanese government or the Sudanese army will engage in the ceasefire, because the conditions are very clear. They want to disarm RSF and to put them in camps. So of course it will complicate an already complicated situation, Richard.